Hello, there'll be no more nuclear power stations built in the southwest. That's today's message from Energy Secretary Peter Walker as he toured the nuclear plant at Winfrith in Dorset. We'll have a full report in today's Southwest. And we'll be taking a close look at the top toys for Christmas. And we'll have a warning on the ones to avoid. That plus all today's latest news in today's Southwest. Join us, if you will, at 6.
The news at 5:45 with Alistair Stewart.
The freed hostage pleads for his Beirut friends in hell. Drinks party nurses thrown out by Saudi Arabia, more will follow. Screening a village for the child killer disease. And it's fair dinkum liquor for yachting down under. Good evening. The freed American hostage, Mr. David Jacobson, has begged his kidnappers in Lebanon to let his fellow captives go. And as he flew to freedom, he said the friends he left behind were in hell. But he declared he's feeling great, despite 17 months held by Muslim extremists, and the doctors agree. Mr. Jacobson praised the church envoy who freed him, Mr. Terry Waite, for giving us hope. But Mr. Waite is staying silent on whether more hostages can be freed.
It was just after dawn when Terry Waite finally brought David Jacobson out of Beirut by courtesy of 2 American Navy helicopters. They touched down in a remote corner of Larnaca Airport. The Archbishop's envoy was the first out, followed a few moments later by the former hostage, jogging across the tarmac as if to prove what fine shape he was in. It was a point he endorsed at a brief press conference a few minutes later.
Would anyone like to go out and challenge me to 6-mile jog around the airport this morning? It's really a great pleasure to see this guy here. Not because he has a beard like I have, but we almost had an opportunity to meet last Christmas. And even though Terry Waite's venture in Beirut did not bring us out, this man did one thing that we really appreciated. As we sat on the floor in our underwear on the day of Christmas Eve, he gave us hope. He gave us hope that we would be free men again, and we love this guy. My joy is somewhat diminished by the fact that other captives are still being held in Lebanon. My thoughts are of Terry Anderson and Tom Sutherland. My sadness that they're not here is deep. To the families of the other American hostages and to all the other hostages. I would like to just give you a message. Do not despair. Trust in the Lord, because there is goodness, and I've seen it, and they'll see it too. Keep faith. The guys will get out because of men like Terry Waite. Thank you.
The Swiss executive jet touched down at mid-morning. Jacobson smiling broadly as he and Terry Waite were welcomed by American officials. He was getting used now to what had, for 17 long months, been just a dream.
Many of you look to be about my same age, and you remember a beautiful ballad from the 30s. I think it was composed by Jerome Kern. The best things in life are free and buy nothing. There's a possibility that I shall go back. Okay. But we're being very careful about what we say for the moment because they're just very critical days.
Jacobson, like so many other American hostages before him, was taken to the American hospital for a checkup and debriefing. Doctors pronounced him fit but tired. He'll stay there tonight. Family reunions tomorrow.
At the Jacobson home in California, a message from the State Department on the telephone answering machine ended 17 months of anxiety. Mr. Jacobson's 92-year-old father was brought from a nursing home to join the celebrations. But amid the joy, there remained concern for the other Americans still held in the Lebanon.
There are still 5 Americans remaining hostage there, and we have no reason to celebrate and act as if this thing is completely over.
Administration officials are optimistic more hostages will be released. They insist they've made no concessions to the kidnappers, although America has been involved in direct negotiations.
Because we are still negotiating for the other hostages, we're not going to say anything more about what process we went through to get Mr. Jacobson out or what has happened in the meantime.
The president is still campaigning for tomorrow's congressional elections. Suggestions that he'll use David Jacobson's release to his advantage have been angrily denied.
Is the president going to play politics with this issue? No. You're in 1 inch of getting your head lopped off with a question like that.
But much of the credit will reflect on the president at a time when the Republicans need all the help they can get. Tim Ewart, ITN, Washington.
And now the rest of the day's news. The Saudis are throwing out more British nurses for having a drink at a birthday party. 23 nurses flew home today, and 3 other British women are in jail for getting into a